Hello and welcome to Whip Wonderland. I am Reika and this is my channel where I talk about all my crafty adventures. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry with the same name, Whip Wonderland, and I'm mostly active on Instagram, so definitely come and say hi there if you want to follow along with my projects. Today I will talk about my 2025 making plans, and we will go through the plans by category, so by what I want to learn, embroidery, like type of crafting, things like that. I recorded this video already once, but the light and the sound was so terrible that I actually decided to re-record it. So this is take two. I am recording this early in February, and hopefully you will see this very soon. If you are new here, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. So, shall we? Let's get started. I have my notes here to not forget anything, and I want to start by stating the whole theme of the year for me. So for me, this year will be about stash basting, but not like a yarn ban or anything. I'm trying to use up more of the yarn I have so I can fit it into a smaller box, because currently I have it in 4 different boxes plus some drawers, and I would really like to downsize it a little bit in case we are moving again. So that using up is one of the main themes of my whole year. Using up not just yarn but any like tools or materials I have. And also I would really love to finish long ongoing projects, things which I started many years ago. This is finished in February, but I am doing this the whole year probably, but mostly the first half of the year I'm focusing on finishing stuff. With that being said, I have not just yarn in my stash, but some more materials like stuff for embroidery, which I got from my granny when I started to be interested in it again. I'm a beginner in embroidery. I started to play with it last year, and I started with embroidery kits, but now I feel a bit more adventurous. So, embroidery. I'm planning to finish the 2 projects I already started, and I want to make one which is like a design of a paw, like a dog paw with flowers. I have not found yet the exact pattern I will use. I have like an idea what I want, but I still need to scroll a little bit more on Etsy, Pinterest, and basically Google. The other design I would like to make is also connected to my dog. So I adopted him 4 years ago now, almost 4, and he was 6 at the time. And when I adopted him, my friends came over, and one of them had like an Instax camera, and she made a picture of us at the time of the adoption, like a few days later. And I still have the picture. It's mostly on my desk, but I really would like to put it in some more of a permanent frame, but I don't want to put it in a traditional frame because A, there are no size like that, and B, well, I'm a crafty person, why not do something personal? So let me grab that photo. Yeah, I just took the photo. So this is the picture. I don't know, it's like a little bit wobbly. This is the picture, and I would like to do an embroidery frame. I saw many videos on Instagram. I do not remember at whose page, I need to find it again, where they like mark this on the fabric and then embroider around it, and sort of like the design is hugging the picture. So that's what I would like to do, but I will most likely freehand it. And I was like very excited to start it. I already put the fabric in the frame and like got some colors chosen because I know what I want, but I'm like, okay, I'm a beginner, maybe let's not start with drawing on the fabric directly. So I would like to make some designs first on paper and then transfer it to my hoop to make sure that this is something which I love. So that's the second design I want to do this year. There are two more. One of them is another design from Winter's Embroidery. She has many stickers, like crafty stickers, and last year I asked her if I could make like a stitch one of her sticker designs on a hoop, and she said yes, but since then she also made it as or she's currently making it into like an actual design on her shop, so I will just buy the PDF and not struggle with, you know, making it bigger and transferring to my hoop. It will be easier. So yeah, and I would like to incorporate that design into a project bag I would like to sew. So this year I would like to use embroidery more in a way like more functional, so not just like a hoop to hang. Although on this wall around this frame I would like to put my done embroidery designs, like the hoops which I already made, sort of like a crafty wall, because this is the background where I film. This is what I see when I, you know, this is what you see when I'm on video or whenever I'm on a Zoom call, because I'm currently facing my desk. So yeah, it's visible a lot, and I think like one frame is just not enough. It's just weird. It's too small. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so that is one thing, but I would like to make things more functional. So incorporate embroidery on project bags, on clothes, on other bags, anything really. And I think I mentioned this in another video, maybe the January making video, that I'm getting married this year. Also my brother is getting married this year, and I would like to make for our wedding, sort of as a memory, an embroidery hoop. And I found a design which I really like in the Love Embroidery magazine, but I would like to change it a little bit. So it's two hands locking on each other, and there are flowers around, and I don't like the flowers which are there. I would like to make orchids, but it's a little bit big step for me. I still consider myself a beginner, so that will be most likely later in the year when I learn more and I figured out how to change the flowers to orchids. So that's my last embroidery plan for this year. Of course, all the plans which I'm talking about, like, I'm a planner girl, but I also like flexibility. So anything I bring here can be changed, and of course more things will happen, and I know life is changing, and things will come up, and I get tempted by test knitting and like cute crochet projects. So of course there will be more, but these are the ones which are like, yeah, I wanted this for a while, I really want to do it this year, or it's such a strong inspiration that I just want to give my time to it. So that being said, let's move on to our next category, which is cross stitching. So I learned some cross stitch when I was in elementary school, but didn't really stick with it. And I feel like now that I am dabbling in embroidery, I can go and try cross stitching again. And with my brother getting married, I also want to give them something handmade, and I want to make an embroidery portrait. Actually, let me grab that. Yes. So I showed this as well in the January episode. I got this kit from our local craft store, which is a customizable weathering portrait cross stitch. So you choose whichever character you want to stitch, and you can put there the date. And what I would like to do is that beside the characters, I would like to stitch their cat and their previous cat as well, who passed away already, and their date and their name, obviously. But they have two wedding dates because they already had the city hall wedding last year, and now they will have the big party and the church wedding. So they will have two dates, and I want to put there both, sort of as a memorabilia, a memory keeper for them. So this is coming up. I need to be done with this by the end of spring, because we are going to Hungary to attend the wedding and the party. I'm very nervous, but I really want to do this for them. So hopefully I'm up for the task, and I will be able to make it pretty and make them happy. I did not plan originally to have another cross stitch project. It was just like a sort of an inspiration, one sort of thing. But then when I went to get this kit in the craft store, I saw that they have the DMC kits, the cross stitch kits, which is the collaboration with Louvre. I think it's called The Masters or The Legends or something like that. I don't know. So it's like an art collaboration, and they have cross stitch kits for famous paintings. And I love paintings. I love Vincent van Gogh. I love Monet, and I'm not like a person who goes to the museum every month or every week, but I studied some art history and I know what I like, and I thought, why not give this a go? So they have some of my favorite paintings in these kits, and I would like to get one and stitch one and just hang on the wall. Even when I'm doing puzzles, my favorites are usually paintings, so it's absolutely on brand for me. And of course I cannot like fill the wall with embroidery and stitching art, especially since we live in a rental, but I think one is okay. So either one big painting which I can stitch from the DMC Louvre collaboration collection, or they also have not just the big pictures, but they have like bookmark kits, which they have one of my favorite paintings, the Starry Nights from Van Gogh. So that's also a contestant. We will see which one I will do, but yeah, that's the second cross stitch project for the year. Probably will happen in the second half of the year, because right now my hands are full, my project bags are full, everything is full of crafting. Okay, let's move on, and our next category is crochet. So for crochet, I don't have many plans. Also, four projects for this year as with embroidery. One of them, which I already talked about, is a big purple octopus, which probably I want to make, want to put here to sit in the background of the videos, and I'm hoping it will not take me a whole year to make it. The design, I will put up the picture. The design is from a Simply Crochet magazine, and it is not the size which I'm intending to make, but I think I will go two size up in the crochet hook, because I'm holding a really thin yarn, quadruple. I already made some swatches, so that's definitely happening. I had this urge last year to do this, but I hold on to the idea, and I promised myself that if I finish my old projects, then I can do this year. So that's sort of like a reward project for me. I did not start it yet. I need to finish some test knits before I jump into a big project again. Another one is that I have a lot of cotton yarn in my stash. I mentioned it before. Probably you've seen it in the stash organization video I put up earlier. I used to have a small business in Hungary, sort of a side business, where I crocheted and sewn stuff, and it was mostly on the idea of like sustainable living and zero waste. It was mostly household stuff, and I have a lot of like 1-2 skein per color leftover cotton yarn, which is Catania from Sachimeyer, and I would like to use that up. I do not particularly enjoy knitting with crochet, knitting with crochet, so knitting with cotton, so I thought I would crochet stuff with it. I used to have the subscription for Simply Crochet magazine in Hungary, the Hungarian edition of it, and there was a really lovely colorful jacket, which is not like granny square, but actually like sort of like a tartan, like striped in multiple ways. And I think it would be a very good stash busting project. If I find the magazine I have it in, I will put up a picture here. And so either that, or I will use them in a scrappy dress, which would be knitting. So we will see which one will happen, but a jacket would be really, really cool. I would like to crochet another scrappy stripy blanket. I really liked to work on the friendship blanket, which I made last year, and we enjoy using it. So I thought I will make a bigger one this year and use up all sorts of colors, all sorts of yarn. we will see when it will happen, if it will happen, but this is on the plans in case I have time, I have capacity, and I have yarn for it. I would like to crochet a project bag, which I already started because yeah, I did the plans at the start of the year, sort of end of last year, start of this year, and I'm making a stripy, sort of like a bucket bag for projects. I would like to have a bigger bag for like sweaters or blankets, so that's what I'm making. I will put up a picture of the current progress and hopefully I will finish it soon. All right, that's all about crochet. I am chipping away on many crochet projects which I started in the past, but I'm mostly knitting this time because of my hand. I had a hand injury 2 years ago and it still hurts me if I crochet a lot or if I crochet too tightly. I'm generally a loose crocheter and a loose knitter, but that's certainly an issue, so I shifted more towards knitting, and I'm also focusing more on garments. And for me, crochet is not necessarily a garment thing. I know it's perfectly possible, it's just my preference. If you like it, then you do you, it's okay. So with that being said, let's move to knitting. My knitting plans for this year, one of them is to make a Weasley sweater from Harry Potter in Ravenclaw colors. I am a Ravenclaw and I wanted to make it for a long while now. Last year my fiance gifted me the Hogwarts Legacy PlayStation game and I very much enjoy playing it. I'm moving very slow and I'm not good in combat. But I would like to, you know, wear that sweater when I'm playing it. I would like to get in the mood. And generally, I love Harry Potter. I have it even in a Czech edition. I used to live in the Czech Republic, and I have the special edition in Czech as well. So the Weasley sweater is coming, obviously with the letter R, so sort of the original, because I'm Reka, and that makes sense. Another thing which I already mentioned, I would like to make like a stripy dress from the cotton yarn I have, and that will for sure come because I applied for a test knitting for Leah's new dress pattern. I will link her channel. She also has a YouTube channel, she also has Instagram, and hopefully I can get in and I use up my cotton yarns. It would be a perfect project, and that dress is so lovely and it has a shape which suits me, which I enjoy wearing, so that would be a very on point design. Of course, I'm always applying for test knits, always, well, whenever I can. And currently I'm knitting on a sweater by Marie Greener Makes, which is the Knit Purl Repeat sweater. It's a geeky one and I'm very much a nerd. I'm enjoying it. And the color I chose, so I wanted a blue base and white or like a cream contrast color, and when I got the yarn it was a slightly different blue than I expected, and I'm very happy that it was. It's just inspired me even more. So I love Doctor Who, and watching it again, I had some years when I didn't watch it, but I'm back at it again and I enjoy it very much. And ever since I restarted it, or even like since last year, so last year Laura from Folk Yarn Studio, yeah, she had a Doctor Who advent which I ordered, and I'm very much in love with all the colors, and that inspired me more to knit more Doctor Who themed or craft more Doctor Who themed. And I was already thinking how to incorporate that yarn into like a cardigan or sweater or skirt or something which I can wear, not necessarily a shawl, although it might become a shawl actually. We will see. That's another topic. I want to use up that advent this year as well, but I do not have the exact pattern with that. But that yarn, the whole Doctor Who rewatching, the yarn which I'm using currently for the test knit, which is sort of like a TARDIS blue, it all came together to inspire me to do a Doctor Who themed knitting project, and I want to make a big cardigan or coat. We will see how big it will be. Just today I got the peak of inspiration and I was actually drawing my sketches how I want it. I know I want a writing design in the back, and I know I want some design in the front, and today it kind of solidified. So I think this is the design which I want to make. I will not show it because I might change things here and there. I will show when I'm starting it. And so I will make a big Doctor Who themed knitting project this year. I do not have the yarn. I only have my little sketches. I do not have a pattern. I will probably need to freehand it, like write my own pattern, and it will require me to learn new techniques, like sticking and like sizing in patterns. So wish me luck. Send me resources if you know good ones where to learn these things. And yeah, it will probably come later in the year, but I'm so excited. And I will for sure show it to you on a podcast episodes. I do my podcast episodes, like the general recap ones, once a month this year, because I find it's the perfect balance on being able to show you more things and not being, too long. So, Doctor Who Advent to use up, and the Doctor Who inspired project this year. Yeah. And the rest of my plans are basically things I'm missing from my wardrobe. So I want to knit the Darling cardigan from Kutovakika again, possibly twice, because I just love it. I use mine all the time, like multiple times a week. I have a black one without buttons. I never button my cardigan. But I would like to make a purple one or a speckled tweedy pink one. I already figured out what yarn I will use. I will just get it from my local yarn store. It's a wool acrylic mix, and I thought it will be a good workhorse because I want one cardigan which I can just throw in a wash and don't have to hand wash, because the current one is 100% wool cardigan, and it worries me that I'm using it too much, or like I need to hand wash it more often than I would like to. So I would like to make a more of a like washing machine safe or washing machine friendly version. And I love purple, I love pink, so that would make all the sense. It would fit in my wardrobe. Another thing, which probably will be the Darling cardigan, but maybe it could be another design, is that I need a brown cardigan or a brown sweater, but I'm more towards cardigan at this point. I had a really lovely brown sweater which doesn't fit me anymore, and I will probably upcycle it. But with that being out from my wardrobe, I am missing a brown warm top piece. I have a lovely brown wool skirt, I have brown pants, I have brown tops, but I need a layering piece. So a brown cardigan or sweater is coming. I knitted the ginkgo biloba top twice already, and when I test knitted it last year, I already bought the yarn for a second piece. So I would like to knit a third one this year, which will be blue. I showed the yarn before. It's a design by Greener Breaks by Marie. I will put up a picture. That is coming. It will probably be very, very soon. Most likely I will start this month, because she's currently running a Greener Spring Cal, which is a knit along for flowery design, and that perfectly fits the theme. Another like wardrobe piece which I just need is a yellow blouse, and I chose the Cumulus blouse to make. I have yarn for it from our trip to Hungary last year, which is a cotton mix yarn. I originally bought it for a different design, but I figured it would be perfect for that. The Cumulus blouse is a design which I haven't made yet, but how it looks is perfectly fitting my wardrobe, the styles I like to wear. I'm a bit nervous about it because generally I'm not the best with petite knit patterns. I usually run into issues with sleeves, but I am confident enough, and I think like advanced enough that I can change the pattern and make it my own whenever I need. So this year it will come. And I would like to make another version of the Amaretta blouse from 100 acre wool from Isabella. I was test knitting this design, and this is a very versatile design. So you can choose to make it like a button-up version or a knitting around version. You can choose a different edging. I think there are 3 different style of edgings for the blouse, and you can do it long sleeve, short sleeve. You can do, I think there is even a waist shaping in there. So it's very many designs in one pattern, and I very much enjoyed knitting it, and I love the neckline which it has. I will also put up a picture. And I've won some yarn last year from Sarah. She also has a channel. I will link her down below. Hello Sarah. And that yarn just reminds me of Beetlejuice, and I think it would be perfect for like an autumn long sleeve version of the Amoretta blouse. I love Halloween, and Halloween is also our anniversary with my partner, so I would like to make it to wear on the occasion. So that will come later, but it will be something for my wardrobe as well. Talking about wardrobe, so, and me getting married, we don't have a date yet, but I would like to make like a blazer or a cardigan for my wedding outfit. We will not have a big party or anything. Our families won't be able to be there, only the witnesses. So I would like to have something which sort of brings them with me. And I got some yarn from my granny a few years before. Oh, I'm getting emotional. Okay, so living abroad and not having your family around, it's hard. Yeah. So I would like to make something to have them with me, and I got some yarn from my granny a few years ago, which is a vintage yarn from Hungary, a Hungarian yarn company. I don't think they exist anymore, and I didn't hear about them for years now. And it's white and it's a little bit fluffy, and I would like to make a blazer out of it. Right now I'm thinking, I think it's the George's blouse. I will put up a picture of the design I'm thinking. But knitting it with the yarn from my country, from my granny, sort of feels like a heritage piece, sort of feels like something old, something new, which can just hug me when I walk down the aisle, sort of. So that is coming. I didn't start it yet. I haven't even swatched. I got the pattern, and we will see if it works out as I wish it would work out. If not, then I will figure something else out, how to incorporate my family into my day. But yeah, so last wardrobe piece. It's the wedding cardigan, sort of. Okay, so 2 more things left. One is a scrappy project. So for the leftovers of the sock yarns after sock knitting, I have my sock memory blanket, but there are some fingering weight wool mix or pure wool scraps I have, which I do not want to incorporate in that blanket, and I thought it would be perfect to make them up into a hot water bottle cover. It will be just a very plain design, some scrappy stripy one. I will use a free pattern from Ravelry, and I will just stripe them and knit until they run out. Yes, I'm collecting the scraps for 2 years now, and yeah, we will see when it's coming, but it would be good to make for the colder months, for the second half of the year. And the last thing, which not necessarily will be finished this year, but I would like to start it this year, is a project with my knitting swatches. So I don't always make a swatch because I'm lazy or don't care enough. I don't know. You can label me as you want. But when I'm test knitting, I always make a swatch, of course, to be on point. And also when I do a new design or like a bigger project, or like I work with the yarn and needles which I don't know my gauge on, then I will make a swatch. And I kept the swatches. Sometimes I rip them back after I measured and I just use the yarn for the project, but I kept some of them and I would like to incorporate them into design. I was thinking either like a scrappy swatch cardigan or jacket, or a scrappy swatch project bag. I'm more leaning towards the second one, the project bag right now, but we will see depending how many swatches I will keep this year. I would like to start this year, so we will see towards the end of it which one I will choose, and you will definitely see it on the podcast. That's the end of the knitting projects, and I have more things planned for this year. So the last category is things to try and things to learn. For many years now, I would like to try sashiko, which is Japanese embroidery or visible mending, Japanese style of stitching, you can call it many ways. And I've been learning about it a little bit already, but there were not that many resources I found. And I would like to try it myself. And last year when I went to H&H Cologne, which is like a big market related festival for yarn and textiles like sewing, knitting, crochet, felting, these kind of things, I met some wonderful vendors, and some of them had sashiko stuff, and I saw some kits for sashiko, and that's what I want to order. That's what I want to try. So it's traditionally stitched on indigo fabric with a white thread, and that thread is not exactly the same like the embroidery thread we use generally. So I don't want to buy all the materials, everything you need for forever without trying. So it worked for me with embroidery to have a kit and try it before I commit. So that's what I will do with sashiko, but definitely I would like to finally try it, finally make a project. Probably with what I stitch, I will incorporate it into something else, like it either will be, you know, like a pillow cover or a project bag or something, but we will see. We are not there yet. Another new for me technique is English paper piecing. For English paper piecing, I already have the materials like the glue, like the tiny hexagons, some fabric, needle thread, and I watched a lot of videos about how to do it, tips and tricks, and yeah, I just need to start. And I don't know why I'm putting it off, but I feel like this is the year when I will start it, when I will finally try it. I already mentioned that I would like to try a new knitting technique, learn more knitting techniques. One of them is Portuguese style of knitting and possibly crocheting. I visited Lisbon 2 times now, and I love Retrosareiros do Palmar, and they have workshops, but I never got in the workshops when I went, and I didn't book private class. But in my local craft group, there's actually a lady who is knitting Portuguese style, and it inspired me more to learn more about it. My fiance is Brazilian, so there's definitely heritage in there, and he asked his family if they know more about it, but I would like to also learn more by myself, by, I don't know, videos, books, whatever, and see if it changes the way I'm knitting. Other things which I want to learn and connect it to knitting are colorwork flat, which I actually managed already. So as I said, these were my plans at the start of the year, and it's already February. I am currently test knitting the Knit Pro repeat sweater, as I mentioned, and part of the color work is knitted flat. So I already tackled that, and I'm very proud of myself that I managed, and it actually looks good. So I'm happy to report that I already learned that, but of course I need a lot of practice. And I have a design which I would like to make, like my own design, which requires flat color work as well. So probably later in the year that will come too. And the last technique I would like to learn is sticking, or one of the last techniques, because there is one more. Sticking. I am very much afraid of it, but I don't enjoy purling a lot, and for some of the projects I want to make this year, there will be probably a lot of purling. So I thought if I learn sticking, then I can just knit in a round and then cut later. I'm scared. If you have good videos about it, if you know good resources about it, then please let me know. Please leave a comment, because I would very much like to learn. And the very last technique, yes, which I mentioned partly, is sizing. So I am working on a design which I started last year for summer top, and I would like to make it a pattern and like release it for others to enjoy. And for that I need to learn grading, I need to learn sizing. I already started to read a little bit, but I'm nowhere near knowing it, so that's something which will come later as well. Our last category is sewing. So I don't talk about sewing that much here. I'm mostly knitting, that's the reason. And whenever I'm sewing, I'm taking out the sewing machine for 2, 3, 4 days or maybe a week, and then our whole living room and dining table is full of scraps and sewing tools and materials. So, you know, after a week it gets annoying and I pack it up and then I don't touch it for months. But when I'm taking it out, I usually work on multiple projects. And last year I made myself a backpack. There will be a video vlog about it coming. I just need to edit it finally. And I also sewn myself some project bag. And this year I would like to continue sewing. I would like to finally finish my Christmas skirt, which I already cut out and pinned together. And this year I would like to finish it and actually wear it at Christmas. Only thing I'm debating right now is whether or not I want to make pockets. Probably I want, because we all need pockets in our life. Yeah. So that's one. And the second one is a dress, which I call my tango dress. So I have a lovely stretchy pink, hot pink fabric in my stash, which I bought in Prague, and I have many meters of it. And I have a very good dress I love to wear, but it's a tiny bit getting short and it's brown, and I would like to use the shape of that dress to make the basic shape of my tango dress, but I will make it much longer, and I will do like a high slicing, how do you call that? So I will need to have a long cut which goes up to the middle of my thighs, and that sort of tango style. I do dance tango, and sometimes you know, you just need the proper dress. Tango parties are generally very elegant, so you need to dress up. Since this will be a free-handed project, sort of, so it will take a longer time for me, but I'm very excited about it and I cannot wait to wear it. My last project, or my last plan for sewing, is actually not one thing but multiple. I would like to make more project bags this year, because you know, you don't ever have enough project bags, in my opinion. And I have many fabric scraps, and I have some clothes which we wanted to discard but not throw away, so I will upcycle those. I love upcycling, recycling, so yeah, that will come. Probably I will film it even and put it up on the channel, so stay tuned. These are my current plans for 2025. As I said, I wrote them at the end of last year, start of this year, so they might change and things come up, and probably I won't have time for everything I want to make this year. I need to leave some room for ad hoc projects or a big burst of inspiration. But if you would like to follow along and see what actually I do make from this list, then please hit subscribe and follow me on Instagram. I'm with Wonderland there as well. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like and leave me a comment with your favorite resources for knitting, embroidery, crochet, sewing, or anything other crafty related stuff which I should try. Thank you, and see you next time.